streaming is on.
Greetings and welcome to Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I will be your host this evening. If you are watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunt Hangar Forum member to find the link to attend the after party. Now, here at Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you have been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a Stunt Hangar member, you can find the link if you scroll down to this section called At the Bench. And now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address, or Sparky, the proprietor of Stunt Hangar, will not approve you. Now, if you're inclined to not come in and just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, great. Please enter your questions or comments in the chat box, and I will do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. Now, understand that sometimes I can't get a word in myself. Sometimes we get into a conversation and I just can't get in. So just bear with me, be patient. I will ask our panel your question. Now, if you find Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts or the many building videos that Sparky does on this platform informative and enjoyable, please give us a thumbs up. When I say thumbs up, that's what I call a like. So please like, subscribe, and share the videos. That helps the channel grow. Please consider also joining our YouTube channel memberships, which start at $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. Now, your support helps offset some of the expenses of running Stunt Hangar, and with your membership, you'll get special badges in the YouTube chat and unlimited replay of member-only videos. And once a month, Sparky has a question and answer show for members only. You can also use the super chat, which is located at the bottom of the chat box, to make donations. I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. We really appreciate it. And to keep the show family room friendly, please don't use words you wouldn't say around your children or your grandchildren. And without any further ado, I'll post the link at the Stunt Hangar Forum. So I'm turning away to my other screen to post the link, and it's posted. Great. So we should be, let me check on the YouTube stream here. And we already have 3 viewers, and Tom Rammel says, thank you, Tom. He already clicked the thumbs up. So please do that. That really helps the analytics and helps this become a recommended video for new people on when they go to their homepage. They might see this program. So that's why I'm really encouraging you to give us a thumbs up. Matter of fact, we have 2 likes already, and one of them is Tom's, and so I really appreciate that. And shortly, hopefully, we will have some guests here coming in here.
My pillow, and he sent me all of their incredible products for my usage, and I love them. They're incredible.
You gotta turn your YouTube off and radio.
You can too.
I gotta turn it off, don't I?
Yeah. You might get copyrighted.
No, it's on the internet, open and free.
Alrighty. So how you doing?
Pretty good. Eating my bowl of popcorn.
You know, I meant to make some popcorn before the show started, but ran out of time, and I was trying to get this thing going right on time when I missed it by a minute. I think I hit the post button at 6:45 or 6:46. Hey, Tom.
Why am I not showing? Can you see me?
No, I can't see you. Your screen's all black.
Black screen for me too, Don.
It says my
I recognize your voice, but I don't see your picture.
Do I have a bubble with JM on it now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now I turn on the camera and nothing.
It goes black. Black screen.
Hey, Peter. How you doing, Peter?
Okay.
Good. Thanks for coming in, Tom, and thanks, Peter, for coming in. Appreciate it. And on the chat side, we have Montana Farmer says, "Hey, Charles." Hey, Montana Farmer. And we have Greg Nielsen. He says, "Evening, Chuck. I don't go by Chuck. I just go by Charles. But I appreciate the greeting. Hope everyone is doing fine, and we are. I'm just speaking for myself. I'm sure that everybody else here is doing fine too, right?
I'm doing good.
Good. So thanks, Greg. So anybody been doing anything in their shop lately? I know this weather is pretty bad for probably for most people, right?
I can tell you about something it's not quite airplane related though, but
We're starting off with nothing
it's
but
early in the show, Charles.
all right, okay. Go ahead. It must be good though, right?
Yeah, I'm a mentor for the high school robotics team first.
Okay, I remember that.
And so we started up our season again for 2021. So working with the high schoolers, it's very rewarding.
Oh, I know. I remember last year when Rusty was hosting the show, and you showed. I think you showed a video of your robot.
Yeah. The last 2 years, I live in a small town of about, I don't know, 2,300 people. And so, we compete against lots of schools all over the world and bigger schools that are a lot bigger than my town.
Right.
But for the last 2 years, we've made it to the world competition. So
wow.
Last year, the actual world competition got canceled because of COVID, but at least we qualified to go. So
Wow, that's fantastic. I'm sure that's in part due to your mentoring. So that's hats off to you, Tom. That's awesome.
thank
No,
you.
it's in spite of.
Thanks,
I didn't
John.
understand what you said, John. What'd you say, John?
I said, no, it's in spite of.
Oh,
Tom's good-hearted. He took that the way it was intended.
right. Okay. I hear you on that. I hear you. Hey, Eddie, how's it going?
All right. Hey, I got a question real quick.
Sure.
I've got the computer pulled. I'm on my phone. And I got the computer pulled up on silent watching YouTube, but my picture's reversed on YouTube. How do I, when y'all see me, do y'all see me right, or or am I reversed?
There's my right hand.
This is my right hand.
Yeah.
You're in good shape.
Okay.
What you do is you go click with I think it's a right click on your thing, and a little thing comes up that says flip. Yeah. Do a right click on your picture, and it comes up flip, and you click that, and it flips you so that this is now your right hand. If you do it the other way, this will be your right hand.
Yeah. Because
But we see you correctly on the chat.
on the chat, okay, that's all I care about.
Yeah.
I don't care how they see me on YouTube.
Yeah. Hey, Jeff. How you doing, Jeff?
Good. How you guys doing?
Doing
Hey,
well.
I just
Doing
bought
well.
another one.
What was that again?
I just bought another one.
About another what?
Fox 35.
Is it the special? What's the new one they coming out with?
No, it's the 50th anniversary.
Oh, that's a good motor.
Yeah, I bought that. Found it on an app called Offer Up.
Yeah.
I found it on that app for $25 right out here by Apollo Field.
Very good. That's very good.
It
That's
had
great.
a brand new 10.6 top flight PowerPoint prop on it.
Wow.
So I figured I got an $8 prop.
The one you want to buy is the 1963 gold one. And for some
Gold
reason,
Fox?
there's Fox 35, 1963 gold. I have one, and everybody I know that has one that said that's the best running Fox they've had. I mean, you can get one better if you get a ABC piston and liner from Gardner.
That's the one I got from Sparky as a Brian Gardner.
Yeah, that's a good runner.
It runs good. I ran it on my Banshee once.
Yeah, but the stock one out of the Fox factory, that gold colored one is. I was surprised at how well the one I got. The one a friend of mine gave me an old stiletto, and it was built by a fella in Milwaukee area who was pretty well known during his day. He was a pretty top stunt flyer. Anyway, he was noted for sheeting his balsa built up wings. He sheeted them though. Anyway, but he had this Fox 35 gold on that. And when the plane got to the point it wasn't flyable any longer, I pulled that engine off and put on something else. Was really surprised at how well that was the best running Fox I have. I still have it. I won't let that one go.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out for one. I've never even heard of the gold motor.
Well, apparently the story goes is that Duke Fox did some job for some company, and they paid him by putting some kind of a gold colored plating on all of his engines for that year.
Oh, they anodized them for him?
I don't know whether they anodize what they will wear off, so they will fade, they get a little fade, but you can always tell, even if they're faded, you can always tell that they're different colored. They maintain enough color that you can tell.
I'll keep an eye out for one.
First seen one. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Let me get the chat box caught up. Let me see
All right.
here. Montana Farmer says Jim might have to reset your webcam. He might be referring to you, John, when your camera wasn't working.
I just logged out and relogged back in, and everything came up okay.
And then Greg, he says, picked up a new Super Tiger 35 control line motor on eBay for $45. Woohoo! And that's a good deal. I like the Super Tiger 35 control line motor. So yours has the C on the crankcase, Greg, and is it a flat top piston or does it have the baffle? And then let me go on. Montana Farmer says, I have started rebuilding a 60 size trainer I have had for 17 years. Excited to get flying again. Fantastic, Montana. Wow. That's great. Yeah, we love retreads. I was a retread about 17 years ago myself. I've been flying for the last 17 years, but I did it as a kid. And then Timothy DeBoard, I think he's new. I don't remember your name, so welcome, Timothy. But he says, Texas Tim checking in from Houston. I just got a double star 40 off the web. Well, that's another good motor. I love the double stars. I only have one double star, and that's a 60 or 61. And we're all caught up on the chat box. We have 11 viewers, and we have 6 likes. So please, those of you who haven't hit the thumbs up button, please hit the thumbs up button. We really want to build this channel so that it becomes a recommended view and we just grow. And because there's some people don't realize that this hobby of flying control line is still around. So this is a great way to communicate, and maybe you might hook up with someone else in your state or community and you can fly together. So this could be a great meeting place. But anyways, go ahead, you guys. I interrupted you guys. Go ahead.
Hey, Gary.
Gary,
I
you
clicked
still
before I
awake?
got on.
I got my Spectra lines tied and terminated, so they're ready to go. I went outside. It was only 11 degrees out, and,
Only.
and so it
That's
was.
a
I wasn't out.
balmy spring morning in Minnesota.
I was having a hard time tying those knots at 11 degrees, but I needed a place where I could stretch them out.
Right.
You know, the
So
full
are you
length.
wearing
So,
gloves?
My fingers
Or are you
don't
doing
work
it
when it
without
gets
gloves?
that cold.
Well, what you
Sorry,
do,
what?
you tie them to a fence post, you pull them in, get the end inside the door, shut the door, and then you tie them.
Good
Good
idea.
idea.
Yeah.
How do y'all stretch them, or do you just fly and let them stretch as you
No,
fly?
you pre-stretch them.
How do you do that?
Get on them and go.
Just tie them to something and
Yeah.
Something
Make-
won't move.
Make your lines up, everything else, but then pre-stretch, then stretch them before you take them out.
Tom, you could have just had somebody pull you behind the car on your skis.
Yeah.
Eddie, what I do, Eddie, is I take a handle and I hook up the lines to the handle on one side, put the handle behind a pole, and then I send the lines out with another handle and I pull against the pole. And I
Okay.
approximate, I'm a pretty strong guy, so if they don't break, I know my plane's not gonna be able to break them. Hey,
Right.
Chuck, welcome back.
I
Hi.
took
Yeah. How are you guys?
Yeah, I didn't know if y'all hung a weight from it, tried to, some way off a bench or something, hung a weight or just pulled on. How long do you stretch them? I mean, just
you can feel when they've reached their limit.
when they don't springy.
Yeah.
When
Chuck,
there's no more springy to 'em.
we're talking about pre-stretching spectral lines after you've tied them before you use them to fly with.
Okay.
If they break, you've gone too far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'd pull them between two trucks.
But Tom,
Yeah.
you see, you can do the same thing. You can tie them to a pole out there on the fence line, bring them inside, shut the door partway, and be inside while you're pulling it there in Minnesota.
By the way, I've only stretched stainless steel wires. I don't have any spectral lines or.
I ain't either. I ain't got any yet, so I'll probably end up doing that because you can get that Spectra line for, get 300 feet for what you can buy one set of steel lines for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Todd, just be glad you're not in Fargo trying to do it there.
Yeah.
So, Montana farmer, he apologized. He said he meant John. Yeah, we figured that at Montana, but apologies accepted. No problem.
No apology needed. I've been
Yeah.
called worse.
Yeah. And then Greg says, this is Greg Nielsen. He says, yes, Charles, a C-35 flat piston. It looks like haven't pulled the head, but through the exhaust looks flat. Yeah, it most likely is flat. And I've had good success with either one. I don't know why, but I just have an affinity toward the one with the baffle. But I've had good runs with either one.
Hey, John, throughout your drywall career,
Yeah.
how many Mother's Day cards did you get?
None that I know of.
In 30 years, I got 5
Really?
from apprentices that I would constantly ride. I was always
Really?
on them.
I've never got a card, but I've been called a mother before.
Well, I got Mother's Day
Well,
cards
actually,
from,
it's 2 words, right?
Mhm.
No, my apprentices that I worked with, we got along pretty good. So it wasn't that situation. I mean, when we got to the point where they were, made journeyman, they appreciated that I leaned on them the way I had. I think, I mean, every once in a while I get a phone call from one or something like that.
Yeah. I still hear from a couple of the guys I trained.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys, we have a new visitor. Hey, Tom. I'm Charles Carter. Thanks for coming in. Oh, we can't
you
hear
got to
you.
turn your mic on.
Turn your mic on.
Got to turn your mic on. No, hear
Mike's
you.
muted.
There we go. You can hear me now, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey everyone.
Hey,
Hey.
Thanks for having me. Oh, I thought I had my camera on, but it's off, huh?
that's
No,
okay.
no,
We've all done that, Tom.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
From your neck up, though. I'll be
Well, I didn't shave, and I've got this big double chin, so.
Oh, wait a minute.
You're not the only one.
Yeah.
Even amongst a bunch of stunt modelers, the vanity never goes away, does it?
Yeah.
Like, who am I trying to impress here, right? But anyway.
Yeah. We're not on here trying to find a date.
That's a good thing.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Tom.
Well,
Go ahead.
thanks for asking. I started like probably most of us as a kid. My first model would have been probably a Gullo's rubber band free flight that I would have probably been 7 or 8 years old by the time I started trying. My brothers both flew control line. My dad built a full-scale sailplane that my brother still has out in Arizona. And that's kind of an interesting story because back then you could build it from a kit. It was a Schweitzer, which was the big manufacturer in the States, in the world for a long time. But anyway, you could build it from a kit and then have the FAA examine it and they give it a standard airworthiness certificate. So it's not experimental. That's really hard to do now. But anyway, so he built a sailplane from a kit, finished it. I wasn't even a year old in 1961 when he finished it. So anyway, aviation's in my family, and started flying by about 9 or 10 years old. I was building little baby or beginner ringmasters, and I would crash them and then go in the house crying and make a repair, wait for the old dark Ambroid to take an hour for that stuff to set, go back out and fly. Well, fast forward a couple years, and I was able to fly pretty much everything. I didn't know what the AMA stunt pattern was at that time, but I could do it all. I had a big Nobler that was gifted to me that I had a lot of fun with, and mostly flew flight streaks and then pretty much everything. Then I got away from it for a long time, came back to it for a while, and then got away from it again. I've never left model aviation, but I've flown RC and especially sailplanes and stuff. And so now I want to get back into control line. And I had a Top Flight Nobler gifted to me by my brother that's on the building table. And I bought an Acromaster. I've got an FP15 or FP20 and an FP15 and FP40. I'm not like a really high level model builder, but I am capable. I can build a clean, straight model. I get a little bored, impatient, I guess is a better word, when I get towards the end of it. So the finishing details, it's just not me. Once it really starts to look like an airplane, I want to get it down and fly it. So I'll put, 40, 50, maybe 100 hours in a model. But so they're clean. I mean, you look at it, you say, oh, you did a nice job, but they're not going to, you're not going to see them lined up in any sort of a stunt contest. But anyway, so that's me, and I'm glad to be back. And I found the forum when I was looking around, and I've been really grateful for the warm welcome that you guys have provided. So I don't know if that's more information than you wanted, but that's my background.
That's fantastic. Yeah, it's great.
Where are you located?
I live in Michigan, and West Michigan, right? Just about, let's see, as I point my finger, Lake Michigan's about 200 yards that way. It's kind of frozen now. And I joined an RC club here in Muskegon, Port City Flyers it's called. And I asked them, I said, hey, I used to fly control line. I'd like to return. Would you guys be okay with that? Because I don't want to interfere and get in your flight line and stuff. And they said, no, we'd love it. We'll mow you a separate area. You'll have your own control line area. And I said, well, some of you maybe come back and join. And they said, yeah, we got some models we can dust off. And I promised I would keep everybody in, control line planes I don't develop too much of an attachment to my models. When I crash them, I don't get too disappointed. I just repair them or build another one. So I'm like, you know what, I'll build some profile models and some trainers, and you can crash them up if you want to. I'll teach you how to fly if you want to return. And it's been several decades, and they're pretty excited about that because, of course, almost all of us that are of an age, we have those memories when either RC didn't really exist or it was a pretty exotic, expensive. I mean, I remember that the top flight, the flight streak was about $6.95. That was for the big one. The junior flight streak was like $3. So that was my budget, probably a tube of Ambroid probably would have been maybe $1 or so then. Anyway, so RC, when you're a kid like that with a paper route was kind of out of the realm. And so we all flew control line and free flight. And so I think most all of us that age have those kind of memories. And so they start, you get that excitement. And so they're welcome. They really welcomed me to the club, and they're going to mow a place for us to put up a circle, and we'll have a lot of fun.
Well, that's fantastic. That's great. Now, how far are you from Grand Rapids?
About 40 minutes. Yeah, not far.
There's another gentleman named Steve Hines. He'll probably come in maybe within the hour, and he lives in Grand Rapids, and he flies control line and RC as well.
I'll have to hook up with them. And I made contact again with.
You may want to think twice about that.
Okay, I'll take that under advisement. I'll let them know I'm kind of busy for a while until I get the.
Yeah. He's a good guy. He just looks at things sometimes a little different than we do.
That's okay. Well, as long as we aren't talking
my friend Steve Hines. He's an okay guy to me.
Yeah.
All you guys are.
But I have another friend from there from back when I had returned to control line that I just reconnected with. He's on the forum, John Skukulek. He's in the Grand Rapids area, and so I'm looking forward to flying with him.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Cool. Very, very cool. Well, welcome. And
Thanks.
Chuck, thank you for the message on the board. I appreciate that, Chuck.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I did make contact with the local group here in Huntsville. Yeah. Just tonight, I got an email back, and so we're on the way.
Excellent.
Oh, great. Fantastic.
Yeah, Ty Marcucci and John Rist and a couple of the guys. You probably recognize those names.
Yeah, I do.
Marcucci, the old
here. Tell them how much fun you have in here, and get them to come in. Hopefully, they can do that. That'd be wonderful.
Yeah, they've even got some trainers that they're allowing people to use while they're like me coming back into the hobby while they're building up their own planes. It's pretty nice. We'll find out, but we got to get around the COVID-19 stuff, and but it'll work out.
Yeah. Now, just so you guys know, Sparky and myself, our vision is to get this so big that we need other monitors and maybe even different time zones. So it doesn't just have to be us. And if we can grow this thing, we can get another person hosting on another night, other time zones, and build this thing up. So try to encourage other people. The biggest thing I come up against is some people, this is an older hobby, it seems like, and some people don't feel comfortable on a computer. That's been an obstacle for people to use a computer. And then I guess there's some people also that aren't very social. So those are kind of the things we come up against. Well, obviously all of us in here are social, but not everybody in our hobby is social,
Well, I think you're right. I think some guys, it's not that they're not social. It's just that they are, I hate to use the term shy, but they're afraid to make a mistake in front of us.
Yeah.
And so they avoid that by being not social.
Yeah, that's understandable. I know that you guys are all, really welcoming and everything, but these are expert modelers. I made a joke on the stunt forum that this is not the place to come if you're insecure about your modeling skills, because the models are just off the end of the chart. Every single one of them looks like Wendy made it, you know, and so I can see where you'd be a little nervous, even though I know that no one would ever be, you know, criticized. It's just sort of like you're in with, you know, really, really expert model builders, and so it's, can you look at these models and you're like, oh my gosh, this is it's like crazy.
It's a little easier when you get to my age.
Back in the old days.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a little easier when you get to my age, because even if you're insecure and an introvert, you got an excuse.
I hear you.
Yeah, it's right. Hey, you know what? Take it easy on the elders. You know, respect your elders.
There you go.
It's like back in the old days.
Yeah, chat box. Hang on one second. Jack Snavely says, hello, all. Welcome, Jack. Thanks for coming in. Go ahead, guys.
It's like back in the old days, you go to the Nats, you know, in the 60s, 70s, and, you know, when the Navy was running it, and you'd go back into the workshop, and you wouldn't realize it till you were there for a bit. You're sitting next to Bob Palmer or George Aldrich or some other, you know, Ed Southwick or some other famous, you know, prize-winning top contender, and then you realize, hey, these guys are just like me. You know, they'll stop, talk to you, help you out, give you advice. And that's what we're doing here. Same thing. We may not be that class of modeler, all of us, but we all think we are.
You know, I got something to tell you.
So,
you know, I got my, when I started after 50 years, I got back in. I got me a new number from AMA. But then I got in touch with him and wondered if I could have my old number back, and I got my old number back.
Really? Now, how many digits is your old number?
21889.
Wow.
Is my number. So any of you guys, you know, think you need to go back, you can check with them and get your old number back.
How many years ago was that?
About 50 years ago, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
4 digits. That's pretty impressive. I mean, you put your plane down the flight line, you only have 4 numbers. That speaks volumes.
Well, it doesn't necessarily. I've only got 4 numbers, but I got mine a little bit differently. Mine, I'm a leader member, and I also am a contest director. And at one point, if you were a contest director, they gave you the choice. You could have a 4-digit number. So what they did is they took off the last 3 digits of my number.
If I had a 4-digit number, that means the first 9 blew off.
You're supposed to.
I don't even have one yet, so that's why.
Well, see,
Mine's a 5.
You got a 0-digit number there, Ed.
Yeah.
Mine's 5.
I'm gonna try. We have a little ballpark up the road here, and it's got about 3 junior or little league fields on it, and I'm gonna talk to the athletic director here in town and see if I can fly up there. But I'm gonna get my AMA so I'll have insurance, so I can show them that, hey, I do have insurance, you know. But I think it'd be good because it's, you know, right on the road, so people can see it as they drive by, and maybe some little kid, you know, 10, 12-year-old say, hey, that looks cool. You know, let's go see what he's doing. And if I can just get a spark in somebody to maybe they could pursue it, you know, I don't know if I'd be a great teacher or not, but at least I could get the flame going maybe. But now that's the problem. Now everybody wants you to fly out in the boondocks where you can't be seen or heard, and nobody even knows you're back there. So how are you supposed to promote the sport if you can't be seen?
Absolutely, you know? A fact, Ed.
Yeah,
And
I'm pretty fortunate. I actually fly at a public park. At least prior to this announcement, I flew at a public park here in Escondido, California, and it's not too far from a busy street, so people do see me. And I have had people have come up on me and say, "Hey, I really like that. That's really neat." And I give them a business card. I have a card with my contact information, with my YouTube channel, and I have one guy I'm teaching right now, Joe Mata, but he's not a kid. He's 62 like me. But you know what? He is just as excited as any kid I'd ever meet.
Yeah.
So it's
Is,
all
is
good.
it all
me,
electric
no.
there, or do you fly in IC?
Yeah.
I'm flying
Well,
IC, and the guy
Okay.
Joe, he's kind of a gearhead himself, so he's more inclined to do IC. You know,
Yeah.
so that's what
So
we're
the
both
noise. Obviously, you must have modern mufflers on, not even tongue mufflers, right? Yeah.
Once in a while tongue muffled, but every engine is muffled.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
houses aren't too close from where we fly, and our we've had a decibel reading, and our decibel reading is within the city ordinance.
Mm-hmm.
So, matter of fact, been flying there for 7 years now, and
I fly greenhead torpedoes. You can hear them a mile away.
2 miles.
mine's not that loud.
Yeah.
Well, back in the 50s in Southern California, we used to fly at the local schools. And we'd fly on Saturdays and Sundays. Schools weren't being used. And we used to get it all the time. We'd have kids show up, and the kids would come back and they'd have their dads with them. And oftentimes, within a month, the kid and his dad were building a plane, and they'd show up there next month, and we'd teach them how to fly. Over a period of a year, we had about 20 or 30 people who were flying with us. But and that's the problem now with them changing or making it illegal or posting against flying at the schoolyards. You like Eddie said, you're out in the middle of nowhere flying. Nobody knows you're there. I can't tell you how many people I say a flight control line. Oh, I didn't know people still did that.
Yeah. Or what's that? I've shown people at work videos of it because they had no clue what it was, and they were, probably 25, 30 years old. Had no clues.
Yep.
Yeah,
you don't see them in hobby stores or anything, so people aren't even aware this is going on. But when they do see it, they're pretty impressed because we're pretty close to the ground compared to an RC plane. They can really see the craftsmanship or the plane, and people are intrigued by that.
First time they see you do a reverse wing over, it usually gets their attention real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me catch up on the chat box. I have a new person. Looks like his name is James Dorion. I might be butchering your name, so forgive me, please. He says, Glenview National Air Station, my first NATS.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know what year that was, but that was his first NATS. Well,
where is that? What state?
Glenville, Illinois.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then we have 17 concurrent viewers, and we have 17 thumbs up. 11 thumbs up. No new members and no super chats. So please hit the thumbs up button. Let's get the.
I'm showing 12 likes right now.
All right. Yeah, I'm just showing 11 on my screen, but I believe you.
Yeah. But it hadn't counted yours.
Smash the thumbs up button, please.
Where's the thumbs up button?
Well, if you are,
it'll be on the YouTube.
If you're watching on YouTube, I'm really speaking to those people, but go to YouTube and just briefly go there and mute the mic, and you can go and hit the thumbs up button, Chuck, and then come back in here. Yeah, that really helps.
Afterwards too, if you want.
Yeah.
What's the title of it on YouTube?
It's called Stunt Hangar Video Hangout.
Okay.
Monday, January 21st, 2021.
I'll be right back.
All right, thank you.
Back in the day when the Navy was running the NATS, they would move the NATS from each year. It was at a different place, and they had about 6 places on average that they normally used. And so I think the NATS was held at Glenview a couple of times. 60s and 70s is when I think somewhere in there was when the Glenville Nats were held there, but it might have been held 2 or 3 times in that 2 decades there.
Yeah, James said 62. So I think he means 1962.
Okay.
The U.S. Navy ran the Nats?
Yeah, they did. They provided the location, and they provided the judges. They put the kids up in the barracks. They had a big blimp hangar they set up for tables and benches in it, so you could work on your airplanes. They had you could eat in the Navy mess. They were using it as a recruiting thing.
Yep,
Wow.
it's recruiting tool.
How many years did they do that? For a long time?
Quite a while, 20, 30 years.
Wow, I'll be darned. I did not know that.
But it got to where the diminishing returns probably in the Vietnam era.
Mm-hmm.
Is that near Chicago?
Yeah, it is, I believe.
Because I remember going to the Nats one year. My dad took me when I was a kid, and it was in Chicago, or at least that's what I thought.
Yeah, well, that's probably
where you were.
And it used to be a lot of those stations, those Navy stations had a blimp hangar. So
Yeah, James says it was great. And I imagine his experience was great at the Glenview Naval Air Station Nats.
did he let me ask him if he got to meet any of his model airplane heroes while he was there.
Did you hear that, James? And he said that the Glenville is north of Chi-Town.
Chi-Town, that's Chicago.
Okay, Chi-Town. Okay.
Oh,
Thank you,
right.
John.
This is one of the northern suburbs. Yeah.
Hey, John,
Yeah.
my control line hero was a local guy, so I didn't grow up, knowing all these builders and everything. I'm learning more now with you guys about the builders and stuff like that. But there was a guy, his name was Ron Garrison, and he had a Super Chipmunk painted up the classic red, white, and blue. And I thought that was the most gorgeous plane I had ever seen, and we'd be outside in the yard and we'd hear him, like I said, we'd hear him fire up at the middle school, and Daddy'd say, he'd be like, "You hear that?" And we're like, "Yeah." He said, "Let's go." So we'd grab our plane and we'd head up there and fly with him. But he was he looks like Buffalo Bill right now. He's got the bushy mustache, the long hair, the cowboy hat, and all that stuff. Wears a leather vest and everything, and I mean, he looks like he's right out of the old west. But man, he flew like he flew RC and control line, and he had an RC up there one time, and I'd never seen RC fly before, and he took off going across the yard there, and his radio locked up on him, and it went full speed right into the chain link fence.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, it demolished that plane, but I'm like, well, that's why I like them on a string. I know exactly how far away it is.
You know how far you gotta walk.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, guys,
I did.
let me interrupt. Hey, we got a super chat from John Shukalak.
Yeah, that's my friend.
Thank you
John.
very much. Thank you, John. Appreciate that. $20 helps. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. And we have 20 viewers, and we have 17 thumbs up or 17 likes. So please hit the like button and keep the super chats coming. That really helps us out. Thank you very much. And I want to say hi to Mark. How you doing, Mark?
Good. Hi, guys.
I did a little RC at a point there. I actually was was either good enough or patient enough. I'm not sure which. Probably patient. That I was the club trainer. I was the guy that taught people. But I remember one of them asked me to fly his new 2-meter glider, which I like sailplanes. And so I got back. The mistake I made, I didn't check to make sure. He just handed me the plane. I hooked it on, got it back, let it go, and it went up, turned over, right into the ground, powered in.
Yeah.
Radio wasn't turned on. I mean,
Oh,
the receiver was, and I destroyed his brand new airplane.
Oh, terrible. Terrible.
That makes me mad, yeah.
Yeah. You know
Hey
what?
guys, I want to give you a heads up. I'm in a thunderstorm. I mean, it is coming down out here. Unbelievable. And there's thunder and lightning. So if I go away, just keep on going without me. Hopefully I can get back in.
All right.
And James says that I guess he saw his hero, which is Riley Wooten, which is also one of Gary Sinclair's flying buddies, or in his club anyway. Isn't that right, Gary?
Who?
Riley Wooten?
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay, I'm mistaken. But his hero, I guess, was Riley Wooten.
Boy. Riley Wooten was the Texas boy.
Oh, okay. Who was the guy who designed the Argus or the Cobra?
Steve
That
Woolley.
was Billy Werwich.
Steve Woolley.
Oh,
No, Steve Woolley. Excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
He was in my club, so I
Okay.
knew him. So I got to fly. You know.
did you know
Yeah.
Tim Meeks?
Nah, I don't think so.
He was a good friend of Woolley's.
Well,
Yeah.
I think Warwick was too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things about growing up flying control line in Southern California when I did is I got to meet people like Williams, who was the designer of the Electra, Bart Klipinski, Ed Southwick, Bob Palmer, Bob Whiteley. These guys were the guys. You go to the contest, they were always there. And it was fun because they were pretty open in many ways. But back then, one of the things that was pretty consistent with the top flyers is they had secrets, and they didn't tell you their secrets because you had to be in the inner circle. They had a club called the 500 Club, and you couldn't join the 500 Club until you were consistently flying 500 point patterns, and they were. I would think they were actually easier to get to then because they had 40 points for appearance, so you could get 20 or 30 points for a fairly decent model, which you get 20 points now for a really top model. Anyway, but it was like the corrected geometry for the flap and elevator horns. We didn't know about it, but in doing plans for Aldrich's planes, I found that I got a set of plans for one of his planes, and I noticed that he had corrected geometry on his flap form, which meant that he knew about it. And then Dick Williams, with his Electra, he had corrected. In fact, he had a note on there that it was important that these horns be made exactly like these. And what he's doing is ensuring that you got equal travel up and down with an equal input. Anyway, so there was a lot of little, like a lot of us didn't know until later that a lot of them weren't flying. They always said they were running 10.6 top flight props, but many of them were running 10.5 top flight props, just because of the changes in the motor run. So it was interesting. Today I find that it's much more open. You find these guys, like Brett Buck and Fancher and Fitzgerald and Walker, all of these guys, they'll sit down and they'll want to know about, designing an airplane if they've got the time. Just don't try to get them to do it at a contest when they're trying to concentrate on flying. I've seen people do it, just after the contest is over, or at the dinner or something or whatever, sit down and talk with them. They'll tell you anything you want to know. There's no secrets anymore.
Well, I'm sure a lot of them are they're not wanting to win out of default. If they're like me and if I'm flying against you, I want to beat you at your best.
Amen.
You know, I want to have the competition. But if you're running away with it every year, what fun? I mean, where's the joy in that? I mean, for me anyway. But I know a lot of people, all they wanted to do was win. Don't matter if it's flying airplanes, fishing, golf, whatever. If they could get an advantage, they're going to take it and win. But yeah, I mean, if I have any knowledge of anything, which I'm a drop in the bucket compared to you guys, so I'm learning too. 'Cause it's been forever since I've really gotten into it, but
I've been flying.
Yeah, I could see where, you know, my mom was the same way. We'd play a game, and she'd ask, "How we do this? How you do this?" I said, "Mom, I'm going to teach you how to play the game, not how to beat me." You know, and that's the same way they felt. You know, they're not gonna give up their secrets so you can beat them. They're gonna want to win. So I could see where they're going with that, but.
Yeah, but in reality, it really boils down to this. And I think that's what the top flyers today will come to realize. One, they want to keep the hobby going, so they want you to have every advantage. But the other thing is that most of them practice and fly so well that you could take their airplane and fly it and still beat you.
Yeah.
You know, and you could take your airplane and get it to fly as well as their airplane and and they'd still beat you because they have either the practice, the muscle memory, the time, or the magic touch, whatever it takes, or whatever it is. So
but they may only beat you by a few points, not 100 points.
Yeah. The thing is it's gotten to more so in competition and stunt anyway. And I'm pretty sure probably in other disciplines, it's gotten to the point where the camaraderie is more important than the competition. Yes, people like to win, and I see I've got to cede the floor here pretty soon. People enjoy the camaraderie. It's a more open brotherhood now. Go ahead, Priya.
Actually,
what I
Mark,
want to say is that
hang on, Try. I'm sorry. Mark, go ahead, Mark. And then hi, Steve, by the way.
Yeah, I just had kind of a little show and tell and a story that kind of goes along with the conversation here. If I can figure out how to do my show and tell without making the screen goofy again. Let's see. Yeah, you know how it goes. Okay.
all I want to say is that it's not.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Turned it back into a kit.
You fixed it all right.
That was I just started getting some good flying days, you know, and starting to, you know, as I am new to this also, and I was starting my figure eights and was doing really get froggy, I guess, you know, and so I mean I think there was a mushroom cloud of balsa wood about 6 foot tall.
You gotta love those figure nines, man. They're great.
I'll tell you what, Mark, don't waste your time watering that spot, because when you plant an airplane like that, they never grow back like you.
Exactly. Yeah. So miracle grow. But anyway,
Miracle Grow won't even work. It's hard to believe.
Along with the of course, I called my buddy Dave, you know, Dave Trouble, you know, and he says, "Mark, don't worry." He said, "I'll put you something together," because I'm building another kit and I just didn't have time. But I was heading out that way to visit. So, long story short, within less than a week, he put that together for me. Just finished it up. Yeah. We're gonna call it the Triple Trainer.
Very good.
And so anyway, you know, talking about just people helping and stuff like that. I mean, there is a very, very large amount of people that yeah, and for guys that are listening that are new to this and haven't joined in on Stunt Hangar and or involved with things or things like that, it's just, don't be shy. I mean,
Whoa. Tell us about your transportation vehicle there.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it got its own seat. That's AMA approved transportation.
Just whatever you do, just don't do to that airplane what you did to the other airplane.
Yeah, that's probably a given, you know. And
Is that your plane?
Yeah, it's one of the planes I fly. Yes, it's this is a
What
little
is it?
serious. This is a Cirrus Vision jet.
Oh wow!
It's a little single engine VTOL jet. It's very economical, and we have
Is that with the one with the Honda engine? No.
No, it has a Williams engine.
Wow.
But anyway, long story short, I was picking up the airplane at the same time. I said, I can take it back. Yeah. So
you could have towed it behind you and see how the aerodynamics worked.
And I'm getting to work on this is a profile nobbler. I'm getting there. I'm getting there on that, you know. But
Nice.
I'm out flying now, actually, and I'm in Palm Beach now, so maybe within the next week I'll get to work on it. And yeah. Anyway, that was kind of my show and tell. So if I can figure out how to get this thing off.
Yeah, just hit stop sharing. But you don't have to stop sharing though. Just hit the stop sharing.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And Tom, Steve Hines, he lives in Grand Rapids, and Tom, you can tell Steve where you live. I forgot where you live.
Hi, Steve. I live over in Muskegon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Which I was off looking at something else. Who lives in Muskegon?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I'm new to the group. Yeah. So I used to fly. I flew in Grand Rapids, but that was like the early '90s. I don't know if we would have met then or not. But I'm from Battle Creek, but I was flying up in the Grand Rapids area for a few years when I was living down by Gun Lake, and I got I've been away from control line for 30 years, coming back to it. But I'm living in Muskegon.
Flying at the airport there?
No, you mean in the early '90s? No, we were out. There was a park that was off of like 76th, near where they used to have that big inflated dome, that big where you could like golf and stuff. It was right by there. It was a city park, and we flew there. Yeah. And they didn't mind at the time. I'm sure you couldn't now, but yeah.
No, yeah, because they started flying RC there, and
yeah,
somebody crashed into a picnic celebration of some kind.
Dear. Yeah.
And that ended all flying, even though that, we're saying, hey, ours are hooked on lines and everything. But
yeah,
that's a county park. And after that happened, they stopped the flying in all of our county parks.
I mean, I do understand from their perspective. Where do you fly now?
We fly in my buddy's backyard.
Oh, okay.
So so you're in Muskegon. If you came straight out Apple,
yeah,
and then the 17 mile, which Apple turns into 17 mile, we're just right off of 17 mile before you get to Cedar Springs.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I joined the Port City RC Club, so I'll be flying there at the wastewater treatment plant there in Muskegon. And I asked them, I said, would you mind if I flew some control line? I don't want to get in your way. And they said, no, we'd love to have you too. We'll mow a spot for you and everything. So I'm looking forward to that. But I just joined the club.
That, huh? I was out there just before the snow flew, and I was asking them about that, and they weren't sure about it, No, I
joined, and I just politely asked if I could do it without getting in their way. I said, if you don't, if it's a problem, I no problem at all. I won't fly there. They said, no, that'd be fun. We've got a spot, that we can mow for you. What about the Wolverine Skyhawks or whatever there in Cedar Springs? Do they fly any control line at all? Do you know? Because that's right nearby where you are, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like 2 miles from my house.
That's a pretty good sized club, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of, sort of. But what it was is that I found their field because I live in Cedar.
Mm-hmm.
I got them to let us fly there and everything. We had to go through a big process of getting it okayed by the city. Why Samantha and I were at the Nats, they wrote the charter and wrote no control line.
Oh. Huh.
After you found it?
Pardon me?
After you got the field?
After I found the field and did all the legwork, and I could have probably had, fought it, but it was a deal to where then my buddy bought his house and had 7 acres there. And he's like, let's just put in a flying field here. Nobody can tell us when we can fly, kick us out, whatever. It ain't going to cost no dues. So I let it go. But Wolverine lost that because they're now building.
They're developing it. I saw that. Yeah, the city is. Right? That's what you're going to say?
Yeah, they're developing now. So, but yeah, so I don't have much to do with Wolverines, with Eric and stuff like that no more. So.
Hey, Phil.
Let me get back to Tryon. Tryon,
Hey, how are you?
Sorry, I cut you off, Tryon, but go ahead, man.
No, I just want to say, like, technically, there is no money to be made in our hobby. So, if someone else wins the first prize and gets the plaque or whatever, I mean, who cares? That's why we enjoy more the camaraderie and stuff like that. So I think it's number one. And I'm going to put that on a side. I was thinking about your crash and people learning how to fly or relearning things. And something that I'm been doing lately that I think I should have been doing it from day one when I learned how to fly is that visualization, right? So what I mean by visualization is something like this, like you say you want to fly something, like some kind of a path. Let me make this big. You guys see me? Let's say you want to fly.
There you are.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Let's say you want to fly this, whatever it is, right? So what you do, you focus on this. You watch the path, right? And then you put the plane on the path, okay? So if you want to do a loop, you kind of look on the background and you look at this, right? You look at the loop that you want to make. And then you put your plane on the path, right? And that's going to make your life so much easier, because you look at the path, okay, I'm a little bit too tight, a little bit too loose, a little bit too whatever, and it's always, so wherever you visualize the path and you put the plane over there, it's a lot easier to learn tricks and whatever, with that. I mean, I'm right now I'm doing my transition. I'm trying to do that. So, and the nice part of it is that you can make it different shapes. You can make it bigger, softer. You can modify the path to your heart's desire, and if you can visualize that on the sky, and you just put it over there on that path. I mean, that should be worth quite a lot. And
now, if you could just draw the path in the sky.
You know what? That doesn't work for me because I never once visualized crashing.
Steve, look on the sky. Imagine a circle on the sky. Look at the circle, right? Don't look at your plane.
It's called soft focus. That's
focus on a bloody circle on the sky. And then your plane is going to follow it just nicely.
It's an old shooting technique. If you tunnel vision is what people get usually, and a soft focus is seeing everything.
If you look at the plane, you're going to hit the ground.
Right. That's tunnel vision. And then seeing the big picture is soft focusing, where you got to train yourself to self focus. It's a hard thing to do, but
Like you said, you had an issue on a horizontal 8, right? Is it right, Mark?
Yeah.
That's where you plant it. Now, if you look at the horizontal 8 and you make a path on the sky, lift it up a little bit off the ground, okay? It doesn't matter where the hell it is. You can put it overhead for all I care, right? Because after that you can grab it from over there, you can move it over here, you can move it there, you can move it like this, you can move it like that. Do whatever you want to do with it. But as long as you focus on what you want to do, and then you just put your plane on that, it's going to improve your flying super fast. And it's the easier it gets for you to that, then you just bring it back in place, boom, and then you have it.
What it is, you got to tell yourself to blink. Anybody who's flown RC, all the new guys try to land, and they never can land on the runway. They land before the runway, way out past the runway, and stuff like that. And you tell people to blink because that'll make you soft focus. And then you know where you're at in space. You start concentrating, trying to keep them wings level and everything. And you don't know where you're at, in space. But if you blink, you'll automatically go back to a soft focus. It'll get rid of tunnel vision.
That kind of makes sense, yeah. A question to go along with that, and one of the issues that I had, it's just my setup too, and like I say, I'm new with this, is the handle neutral and stuff like that is, when I have a obviously neutral elevator and the handle is set at, let's say 90 degrees, because that's what I was taught to do. Yeah. I have a lot of less up than I do down. Is it a bad thing to bias the handle so that you have example, like if this would be normal, I don't have hardly any up. Yeah. If I bias the handle a little bit, yeah, then I have my up and down.
Is that a physical? You just don't have the range of motion, or you talking about the plane doesn't have the up?
No, my hand. Go ahead, Trey.
All right, this is what I have to say about that. You fly your plane to your flying style.
Yeah,
you do not fly your plane to my flying style, to my setup. You don't fly it on Charles' setup. You don't fly it on Steve's setup. Definitely that one, you don't want to do that. But let's put it this way. You have your natural neutral point, right?
Right.
So at your natural neutral point, when you hold it over there, the plane should fly nice and straight without any effort, right? When you fly inverted, you should still be pretty much at your natural point as well. Now, think about it like when you fly normal, you hold a tiny bit of up, right? Because the plane flies like this when it's in normal flight. When it goes inverted, it flies with a little bit of down, right? But, just like those are idiosyncrasies, right? But you pretty much at your natural, just a tiny bit of up for normal flight, a tiny bit of down for upside down, right? Okay?
Nice. That sounds great. I saw your video, you guys' flights this weekend, too. Very nice.
Yeah, I never did get to see Phil fly, but we could hear him talking the whole time of the video. I'm like, oh, my God. Phil, he was never on camera. Will made sure he didn't film him. But you can just hear him talking in the background the whole time.
Hey, Mark, this plane, Mark, that has the asymmetry is not the same either way. Is this a profile or a built-up plane?
Oh, the one that's the one that was in many pieces. The plane had the asymmetry. It's fine. It's just that when I did my handle setup, I forced the neutral even so that it's 90 degrees. So unlike what Tryon just told me, it makes a lot of sense. Find that neutral of your own wrist and make that neutral so that you have equal up, equal down. That was the point.
No, it's the neutral is to be your natural body position, right?
Correct. Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's your plane, it's your flying, right? It's not someone else is flying. So, but in time, you're gonna probably find out like, well, I want to try it a little bit faster controls, a little bit slower controls, a little bit whatever. I would, I'll probably start with slower controls at the beginning. Anyways.
Hey, Tom, we're just going to let you know your arm's going to get really tired holding your hand up.
All right, I'll just jump in.
Jump in real quick.
So I just wanted to say hi to my longtime friend John, who I haven't seen in almost 30 years. Good, great to see you, John. And John's
that's why I jumped in, Tom.
Oh, thanks. John's claim to fame back in the day was that he could get the most beautiful runs out of a Fox 35 that I have ever seen. He had that 242 down like a science. You and I remember that one other modeler whose name I can't remember could get those things to run like nobody's business.
Well,
so
the master, Tom, wasn't me. It was Joe Kresnak, and Steve knows who Joe Kresnak is. You guys were talking about that park we used to fly in. It's called Douglas Walker.
Douglas, yeah, I said it was Walker, but yeah, Douglas Walker.
Douglas Walker, and we used to fly there until they ran us out. First, we went to the back of the park and tried to hide and flew for a while back there, but eventually they wanted to keep it for soccer mostly. So we got run out of there. Right? But I saw the most amazing thing I've ever seen in control line at that park once. I don't know if you were there that day or not, Tom, but I think a couple guys were doing combat. So one guy's airplane got away from him, and it continued flying in circles, swinging the handle in the air, and it went up into the clouds. A control line airplane.
Wow.
Yeah, I do. I don't remember that. I do remember flying combat there.
Hey, hey, John, do you know Dick Imoff?
I do. Oh, I know who he is. Yeah.
Okay, we fly at his nephew's house, and everybody's welcome to come there to fly.
Yep. Is that up in Cedar Springs?
Yes. Yep.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate the offer. I have to squeeze flying time in. I don't have much of it. And I was just telling Tom, after we reconnected, we corresponded. Finally, 5 years ago, my wife and I bought a place out in Caledonia, and I have several acres, and now I can go out my back door and get a few flights in within the space of about an hour, which is usually how much time I have available. I don't have time to load up the car, drive somewhere, load it up, and come home. But now at least I can fly until I retire, and I'm getting close.
Hey, Tom, you work days or nights?
I work days and nights this time of year. I'm a CPA.
Oh, okay. How about the other Tom? What?
I'm retired now. Yeah, so.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Dick flies during the day because he's retired, and he's usually out there by like 11 o'clock till noon.
I usually fly during the day too.
Huh?
Yeah, I can definitely fly during the day.
So I know we hooked you up with Dick, and you could fly anytime with him.
Oh, great!
You need some nice weather now, Steve.
Yeah.
Steve, do you or did you work at Right Way?
I do. Yeah, I'm laid off from Right Way right now.
Okay. Yep. I know those guys. They're actually a client of my firm.
Oh, you do? Oh, you work with our CPA there?
Yeah, that's us. We're the CPA firm. So I know Scott and his dad, Tom.
Yeah.
Yep. I've seen you with a T-shirt, so I had to ask.
Yeah. Yep. I took the layoff because I'm going to retire in March on my birthday.
Oh, cool.
So I took the layoff to let the other guys with less seniority with families keep working. So.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
And you'll be flying during the day too.
I will. Yeah. Now that
great.
Now that all this is going on, so. But yeah, I've been. Well, as most of the guys know here, my claim to fame in control line flying is my daughter. I can't fly control line with a shit. But I've been flying RC again, so. But that's what I used to do. But I quit flying RC when Samantha started flying control line, and
Yeah, there was a nice day in Huntersville, and I was over there to fly with the guys. We had like 10 people flying control line at one place. I mean, I don't think I've seen that many people flying just at the club meeting. That many people in one place at the club meeting.
Yeah, it's
That's
pretty
our
good.
usual Saturday, Trey, and that's our usual Saturday in Winston-Salem.
Wow.
It used to be Tommy and I, and then it started growing again. Now there's 12 of us, but only 10 usually show up. One of the guys' wife is in bad shape, cancer, and another one is I don't know where he is right now. I haven't seen him in a few weeks, but 10 people is our normal. But when we went down there with us and them, it ended up 10. But we usually get in 3 or 4 flights, but usually we fly 2 circles. So we get in, the old time guys fly 1 circle and the modern guys fly another circle. We try to have a little fun. Sometimes we draw straws, whatever, to just get on whichever circle you need. But yeah, anytime you can come up, give us a holler, because everybody enjoyed having you. And I really enjoyed having you. I enjoyed having your plane.
Phil, did you fly your Vector?
Yes, I did. Yes,
Did
I
you
did.
fly- Did you fly transplane, Phil?
I sure did. And I haven't stopped thinking about it since. I'm telling you, that it really stunned me that I picked up his handle and checked the level, and I said, I think it's going to be all right, because it feels just like mine in neutral, and it did. So the only thing difference was the first time when I went to do a wing over, I went way past 90 degrees, and then when I went to do a loop, the sucker had 8 sides on it. That plane really turns. My word, that thing turns. It was so much fun. I come home, I walked in the door, my wife says, "What gives?" I said, "What's the matter?" She says, "You got a smile from ear to ear." I said, "Yeah, I can't get it to quit."
You didn't tell her about all the money you spent to buy one, did you?
No. And I'm telling you what, that is remarkable. That's the most fun I've had in a long time.
So that's 0 to divorce in 4 seconds, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm telling you.
Well, how did the Vector? Did your Vector fly well? Did you get it trimmed out?
The Vector flew very well. I was pleased. I felt like it overran. I'm going to have to check the timer again. I got the KR timer in it. I've only got the governor set on 4, which is basic. So I'll have to play with the governor and see if I can't get it to work a little better. But I was really tickled with it. Steve still had the plastic spinner on it. I came home and put the metal one on it. But it flew very well. It grooved, and it did not hunt. It was so nice for me to have something that didn't hunt. So I've been fighting that Nobler for 2 years, and it hunts like a coon dog. But anyway, it was a blast. I had a great day, and I enjoyed the heck out of having Trey in up there. It was a lot of fun. He blew some people's minds. The man finishes his pattern by doing inverted outside triangles.
Yeah.
Think about it, and makes it look easy.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, let me cut in here for a minute, Paul. Phil. Top Fred from the chat box, he says, "Howdy from Utah, 26 degrees. Brr."
What part of Utah is he from?
Duty.
What part of Utah are you from, Top Brent? I know you said before, but I don't remember.
Top Brent. Okay, I know where he's from. Logan.
Okay. And I also want to say hi to Mike. I know he's just listening to us, but I like to acknowledge people when they come in. And hi, John, and thanks for coming in, John, and thanks, Phil, for coming in, and thanks, Mike Wonky, for coming in.
Hey, who's the guy that said he's going to fly in Huntsville?
That's me.
Where did you just move there, or?
No, we've been here for years and years and years, but I've been doing other stuff, and like a lot of you, had an itch that needed to be scratched, and I flew back. Oh gosh, when I was a teenager, and I'd just like to get back and start doing that some more. So if there's a local group in Huntsville, and I've got connected up with them at least initially, and they've got a pretty good program for guys like us, and so that's looking pretty good.
That's great. Do you have your equipment and everything and
I don't
models?
have I don't have anything.
Yeah.
Not a darn thing.
Yeah, that's what I found when I got ready to come back. I think I sold it all to John because I didn't have any. I had some eyelets, and that was it.
when I
got out, I don't know what I did with all that stuff.
When I got out of school, and left Detroit for to seek my fortune, I guess, like a lot of us. I left a half-finished Thunderbird and a brand new Fox 35 that had never been run in my mother's house. Used to be mine, and when she downsized, I guess all of that went in the trash. So whatever I had is no longer there. So I'm trying to pick up where I left off, basically.
Did you know how to fly the pattern, or how far did you get it?
I got to the not even close. I got to the point where I was beginning to get comfortable flying inverted. So I was doing loops and wing overs and landings and takeoffs and.
I think he needs a Yuki.
Yeah.
A Yuki'd be really good for you starting out because they're pretty crash worthy.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. A lot of people have recommended a shark.
Well, shark.
That's shark too. Yeah.
I just need something that is expendable, so I don't worry about crashing it.
Why don't you go to Brodak's site and just buy an ARF? There are ARFs almost ready to fly planes. He's got this Stingray. I'm not sure what else. I think it has another one.
There are a bunch of them there. I guess I would. Half of my pleasure in this hobby is building.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's okay. That's okay. Just get an ARF and get a kit. Get the ARF up in the air, go fly, enjoy the flying, and meanwhile just build whatever you want to build.
Yeah, that's right.
Or another thought, you can get a SIG Skyray, get rid of the plywood ribs that it uses, and make balsa ones, because those plywood ribs will shatter on any kind of a damage. And replace those with the balsa and get an OS 20 FP, take it out of the box. Don't do anything to it, but put a 9.4 prop on it and fly it.
That's right. Yep. All those are good recommendations.
Be pretty docile, yeah.
And there are many people that the camps are pretty much split half and half. Yeah. Some people still like the smell of the fuel, the noise of the motor and whatever. The other half of the camp you want electric. So you might want to
I'm struggling with that right now, but I'm also among that first half. I remember the smell of the fuel and the sound of the engine and the challenge of getting the needle valve correct, and
love it.
A lot of that is a visceral thing that we're talking about going back to when we were teenagers. I think I would miss that.
Yeah. You can't really expect anyone young to have an affinity for internal combustion engines. They never knew any different. But for us, there's just so much feel to it.
It's nostalgia.
So,
it's nostalgia.
It has to be nostalgia.
When I lie in bed in the morning thinking about doing this, I'm thinking about starting the engine, and I'm thinking about adjusting the needle valve. I'm thinking about walking the lines out to the center. I'm thinking about lining up ribs on a spar and putting silk span on and doping it down. Those are all
nostalgia.
Those are all nostalgic things, but they're pretty strong.
Oh, very. Yeah. That's what brought me back. I've been flying RC, and I thought, gosh, I really miss control line.
Yeah.
Well, it's
John, I have a question for John. Did you get that ARF Nobler that you bought running right? I saw a thread on it.
It's still in the box. Haven't had time. Can't wait though. Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Phil, thank you for the nice words.
Oh, you're more than welcome. You more than deserve them. I'm telling you. I mean, your flying was amazing, but that plane was incredible. I've got to have one. That thing's something else. It made. I've flown a lot of airplanes. A lot of guys come out in the field and ask me, "Would you fly this and let's see what you can make it do because it's doing this for me." And a lot of times I land them and say, "Okay, we need to move your lines way back." And other times, make a suggestion for them. Let's check these wings or tweak the flaps, something.
Dig a hole.
I've had 2 airplanes in my entire career, 3, because one of them was mine. 3 airplanes that I could pick up, and the first time I flew it, it was comfortable. My Stinger, Tommy Looper's Humongous, and the Revolutions. That's it. And the Revolution is the first flap stunner. No, Stinger was flap stunner, but it was first all-up stunner I've ever picked up that I was comfortable enough to do an hourglass with on the first flight. That plane was just incredible. I just really, when I got to the second or third loop and finally figured out you got to really slow your hand down to make it round, I was tickled. But when I got to the triangle, that's one of my favorite maneuvers, and that thing says bang, bang, bang. I said, wow, this is fun.
What airplane is it? And is it IC or electric?
It's electric.
It's electric.
It's electric, and it's the most incredible electric you'll see. It's
And what model is it?
Revolution. You'll have to see a picture of it because it's not like anything else. If you look at your AMA magazine,
not a Revolution, Evolution.
No, it's Revolution.
Revolution.
Oh, it's Revolution.
If you look at the AMA magazine, you'll see a picture of Trayan holding the thing because he won advanced for the national.
Ryan, do you have a picture you can share?
It's all carbon fiber.
Of what? Of the plane?
Yeah, just get the plane out of your bed. He sleeps with it.
Okay.
that plane is pretty large. That's a large airplane. It doesn't fly like a large airplane.
Bed.
Have any of y'all ever noticed? Has anybody ever noticed when you fly a big airplane, you feel like you're cramped all of a sudden?
Yeah.
It always feels cramped. Well, this one is the biggest plane I've ever flown, size-wise. And it did not feel cramped. It was like flying a 40 size plane, which is what I'm comfortable with. I got shoulder problems from being a lineman for 30 years, and I am not comfortable with anything that pulls real hard. This didn't. And I'm not comfortable with something you got to horse and mess with. And this, you didn't have to. It was very gentle flying, just wiggling your fingers. And it just flies so well. It's just incredible. Mike Lonke has flown it too. He can tell you the same thing. This plane is just, well, Mike's not there apparently. But this plane is just so easy to fly and so forgiving. But I saw Trayan fly the thing so deep into a triangle that I thought there's no way, and it popped out at 4 feet and just, I'm not that gutsy with somebody else's airplane. Right. But this thing was gorgeous. My bottoms were about 6 feet. His were at 4. And I mean, his were honest at 4. They were below my head level. I was standing at the side of the circle. And the guys were teasing me because I was talking so much, but I always talk too much. So, but this plane was just incredible.
You're right, he does.
See, I told you, look, it's right in his bed. He just had to uncover it.
So,
wow. That's it. And I mean, that is one remarkable airplane.
All carbon, correct? All carbon.
It's all carbon.
What's it weigh, Ryan?
I mean, if you look just the wings, the without any hardware in it, it's about 21 and a half ounces for the whole plane. That's the fuselage, the wings, and the tails. And it's about 58 all up with the battery. It's
how many square inches?
710.
Wow.
I'll give you $100, but you'll have to ship it to me for free.
Whose
design is it? Is it your own design?
Yes.
Wow, it's beautiful.
The only thing I borrowed is is like from an SV11. I did borrow these numbers here, like how long is the cord flap size and stuff like that, and also on the elevator. Also, it's an SV11 or a SV12 elevator shape and size and hinge and everything. But the airfoil is completely different. Everything else is different. More wingspan, more wing area. The numbers are completely different. You know, it's like the tail moment and stuff like that. So it's all changed.
That's incredible.
And it comes apart.
Oh yeah. In about 4 minutes,
He
takes it from pieces to what you see in about 2.5 minutes. I've seen him do it.
Here, let me share
from IKEA.
Let me show you that. I can do that. Where is it? I have a little video. It's 2 minutes video. And if I am to share, just share and copy the link.
I would go to the YouTube. There's a YouTube link. Get the 3 dots there to the right. There's a
I just copied
there
it.
a YouTube video. It comes out a lot better that way, Tryon. It's no buffering or anything.
Can I say share a YouTube video from here? Is it better or worst?
It's better.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 dots on the right.
Yeah.
The 3 dots on the bottom all the way. Click the 3 dots, and then it'll say share YouTube video. Somewhere down there.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
This is how I put my batteries inside. Okay, there's just a little story behind it. You know, some guy, you know, show us how he puts his battery in his planes, and you know, I could see in a video that the video was being cut and kind of patched together, stuff like that. So it took him about like 4 minutes to put the batteries inside. So I said I want to do a battery installation, quote unquote, of my own video.
Now, is it? That's his first airplane. That one was a little slower to put together.
Get a load of that spinner, guys. That thing's incredible. He makes that too. And she's ready to fly.
You're muted. Trying.
Okay, sorry.
There we go.
Maybe I was trying to. Yeah, so actually when I was putting the battery inside, it actually the connection slipped open, so I had to reconnect it after that to make it work. And so actually it was a pretty slow battery, you know. And there's the beast.
That thing is something else.
So Tryon, is this something you're going to just continue to fly for now, or are you already plotting the next iteration of the evolution?
Yes, I'm going to continue to fly this for now. I have another small, very tiny change on outboard wing. I made a new mold for it, which is the outboard wing is going to be like half an inch shorter. The flaps is going to be a little bit wider on the tip. And that kind of is going to bring it into the modern layout of a stunt plane. Right now, this guy is equal span because I didn't have the money to make two molds. So make an outboard wing and an inboard wing. So nor the time for that. So I kind of kept it equal span, equal flaps, equal everything on left and right, and carrying just a little bit extra tip weight, but it's not hurting it at all right now.
Have you got your new mold ready to mold something, or are you still polishing?
Actually, I'm repairing one of the molds because when it was shipped, it was a big chunk in a corner was just being broken off.
Oh, that was of your new one?
No, the old mold.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was kind of pissed off on those guys.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, no, you know, I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna put it back together, repolish it because the stuff I used in the mold prior to this one, was not exactly the best paint, and it kind of attacked the mold. So the mold is not as polished as it could be. So I have to go back and repolish the mold and clean them. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna fuselage on on all the molds. Actually, I'm gonna repolish them, retreat the molds, and then I'm gonna be, you know, that's that.
Hey, Tryon, can you have you stopped the YouTube already, share?
That's the YouTube. How do I stop this thing?
Should be there where where you share the YouTube video. You should go back there and see stop.
Okay.
Our stream current rate is
I got
lower
it.
than recommended.
And remove, right? Good.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
There you go. Thank you. Sorry about it.
That's okay. I'm hoping our bit rate gets back up to where it needs to be. Well, that's pretty impressive, huh?
Yeah.
Trey, and where did you develop all of this carbon fiber expertise, if you don't mind me asking? The trial and error, or do you like build Formula One cars, or what?
I could probably, but no. I initially I want to build this plane, the Revolutions, right? And then I kind of switched over. I started to fly RC gliders. And when I started to fly the RC gliders, I found out that they're super expensive. And I said, this is not too hard to make. So I started to make my own. And in the process, I learned a lot of molding techniques because I used to make a discus launch glider that was 1.5 meter wingspan. And the first wings that I pulled off the mold to make the discus launch glider were hollow molded wings, which is the same exact technique I use here in the fuselage and the wings and the stabilizer. And I also learned a lot of other things in the process, and how to keep them light, how to techniques on, you know, how to lay out the material so you make it light. And the funny thing is that the first comment I got when I opened the thread on Stunt Hangar somebody told me that on over there it's like, well, it's all been tried before, and all those planes were like 70 ounces or something like that. At which I was kind of scratching my head, like, you were doing something wrong then, or you didn't know what I know. Anyways, so that was the end of the story, because this plane right here at 710 square inches weighs 58, 59 ounces right now, right? But this is the heavy, version of it, because I can tell you right now, I can make it 49 ounces if I wanted to. That's not an exaggeration at all. I can go to a 4S 2200 milliamps, and I'm saving over there at least.
You don't want to do that, Tran.
Over 2 ounces, right?
No, not with that wing area. You don't want to make it lighter.
It doesn't need to be.
No.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not hurting for anything. That's why I stay with the battery I'm staying right now, because I have the battery already, and I need a nose weight anyways. The second plane we built was 53 ounces, just as a comparison, and that's 53 ounces with this 6S battery, with a big battery, right? And I could go to a 4S 2200 milliamps based on the consumption that I have right now, and still not hurt for power for anything. And that would be a sub or low 50s or high 40s 40-ounce plane. I don't need it. I still don't need it. I mean, the plane has so much performance in it right now, to the point that I cannot. I just cannot keep track with it.
Death Revolution taking away the power.
Poltergeist.
George, that's Morse code. The plane wants to be covered back up.
Morse
Guys,
code.
I'll tell you what. Saturday we had some unbelievable, just crazy winds, and that plane went through it like what wind? My Nobler got banged all over the sky. Tom's planes, everybody's planes were getting banged all over the sky. That thing went through it like what wind? It was it's different. It's a whole different experience. I'm telling you. When you're that light and got that much power, that plane is just not like anything else I've ever flown.
I tend to agree. I don't think he needs to go any lighter.
No, I don't either. I don't either.
Yeah,
he's light enough.
Yeah.
You pick that plane. You pick that plane up, and you wonder: are you sure this weighs 59 ounces? Are you sure it weighs that much? I guess it's because it's so big, and you pick it up, and you expect it to be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's Pattern Master size, and it weighs like an open.
12 ounces heavier.
It's a big airplane, and you're stunned when you pick it up that this big airplane can weigh this little. And then when you fly it, and it just is so agile, and it turns so sharp, and just, I mean, you literally have to think, slow down, slow down, slow down. Whole time you're flying it, slow your hand down. Because if you hit it like you hit anything else I've flown, you way overturned what you meant to do. Like I say, my first loop had about 8 sides on it. It looked like a stop sign more than a loop. So it was Tommy, when I landed, Tommy Looper walked up to me. He says, "What was that first loop?" I said, "A real good turning airplane." That's what that was. Because that was, he said, it looked like he had about 12 sides. And then one of the other guys says, "No, it was 8. I counted." So I said, "Okay."
Yeah.
It was incredible. I like I say, I came home with a smile from ear to ear. That's the most incredible plane I've flown.
So one thing I've noticed when you're flying it, I knew you're trying to not over control it anywhere, right? And for you, if you probably closing the spacing on the handle, cool it off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It'll be right in your alley. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's I have everything I've flown, I've had to slug around, and that thing you don't slug. You really just really slow your hand down. I like it. It's really, really nice.
Yeah. So,
Bill, you got your mufflers yet?
You'll find something similar to that with
Not
that
yet.
vector.
Not yet. Probably tomorrow. They
Cool.
Our mail system around here lately has really been lousy, Eddie. It's bad. I don't know what's going on. But I had a prescription shipped to me from a drugstore that's literally 2 miles away. It took 3 days to get it.
Wow. I hope they work for you, because I sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
Didn't need them.
I'm sure it will. I just I put that on the Raby Bearcat and get that thing going again. I don't know what happened to the muffler that was on it. I guess it flew off, and I didn't notice it. But anyway,
all right.
One of those things.
Well, guys, I'm out of here. I'll see y'all Friday maybe. So.
All right.
Eddie, take care of yourself, and thank you so much.
Eddie, coming in.
See you later, Ed.
See you, Eddie.
take care.
Let me just give you guys an update. We're at, we've had like 22 viewers and 19 likes. And so anybody out there who hasn't given us a thumbs up, please give us a thumbs up. And of course, John, thank you very much for the super chat. $20 really helps out. Thank you a bunch. And
Thanks for all the information you guys provide.
Oh, absolutely. We'll appreciate it. Thank you. And then I forgot to say that Top Brent said he's from Ogden. So the 26 degrees is in Ogden, Utah. And so now I'm all caught up.
It's cold here, but it's not that bad.
About what it's like in Michigan.
Just for a real quick aside to my ham radio buddy there. Were you on yesterday on 15 meters?
No, I wasn't. If you're talking to me, I was not.
Oh, okay. I managed one station I heard on 15 meters, but a pilot tried to call him was a fella in Rarotonga Island. There's only three hams on the whole Cook Islands, and one of them is kind of off the air, and the other one does digital mode. So the only guy that's doing HF sideband, and there he was. I managed to work on 100 watts on a vertical.
My gosh. Yeah, well, while we're talking about ham radio, I'll bring the connection that I was thinking about while we were talking about some other stuff earlier. It has to do with, because what a lot of guys don't realize, hams are pretty competitive too, and there's a huge contesting community in ham radio. There's usually a big contest every weekend, at least one, and several during the week. But what it means is, if you're talking about whether you're going to go out to win it or for the camaraderie or whatever, there's a real, it's a lot like flying control line contests. And what I wanted to say is that for most of us who get into these kinds of competitions with absolutely no chance of winning, one of the things everybody is doing is competing against yourself. So you look at last year's score and you see whether you can do a little bit better. And and consistent, along with that, one of the neat things about ham radio contests is that it requires two, one on each side, to make a good contact, and most of these contacts depend on your score, which is some combination of the number of contacts you make plus some other stuff. But it's very satisfying when you can complete a difficult contact with the other guy by using some of your skill and tactics to get it completed. And there's a great deal of satisfaction in making both halves of that contact work. So that's kind of a third mode of satisfaction, but they all go together to make a wonderful experience. And it's very close to what you guys were talking about with control line stunt contests.
It is.
It must be a real bitch packing up your tower and all your stuff and heading off to a contest.
Yeah, it is. You need to spend a couple days. You leave a couple days for all of that.
You just have a
Take apart towers. Yeah.
One helium balloon, a long wire.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I've seen those take apart antennas that it's on a trailer, and they really do fold it up and all.
They do. Yeah.
My brother-in-law's W4GW, and
okay.
He eats, breathes, and sleeps ham radio, and I'm telling you, it's they
Here
really,
comes the airplane.
yeah,
You
here comes the plane.
You'd be surprised at how much money, or maybe you wouldn't. I don't know. Some of the really competitive guys are spending thousands and thousands of dollars on this stuff.
Watch out, Charles.
I know what you mean.
I know, Charles.
I know what you mean. Charles, you are too many, brother.
Here we go.
Charles, I want to see a roll.
He just did a loop.
No, I'm gonna go get my Peanuts airplane and do that. I've got a Peanuts biplane downstairs. Snoopy and Woodstock and the whole bit.
So Tom and John, when we get off topic, I bring out this small airplane or this to get us back to.
Got it.
Nicely done, Charles.
He thinks it works, but it really doesn't.
Because now we're talking about his toy airplane. At least we're talking about an airplane.
Yeah.
Phil, that was your maiden flight on a Vector, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't the first flight, but it was the first 5-minute flight. I've flown some 2-minute flights with it.
Ah.
I flew 4 2-minute flights with it about a month ago, and then that was the first 5-minute flight, and it.
I see.
It's the first time I did anything more than a loop or a wing over with it. So I was really tickled when it went through all the other maneuvers so well.
Yeah.
So easily.
I was
You
going
did good
to
with
say,
it.
You'll find that the vector, if it's trimmed out properly, will go exactly where you point it.
Yeah, I like the fact it come down and locked. Yeah. It was. I think I'm going to really enjoy that one. I have an SV11 downstairs, and I have an SV11. I have an SV11 with a Tiger 60 in it, and I have an SV11 that's we call it an SV11 Cavalier, SV Cavalier. It's not painted yet. I'm painting on it, but it's not finished. It will be electric. The other one's a Tiger 60, and Saturday got me thinking about hurrying up and finishing that one because I want to get busy on Revolution. I'm trying to get some of my other projects either finished or sold because I'm gonna do that one. But
you're gonna build one, a Revolution?
Yes, sir. If Trayan agrees and lets me, I intend to do it.
Wow.
I want one of those bad. If you fly it, you will want one. I promise you. I would bet money if you fly it, you will really want one. Seriously.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's not like
Trayan, do you have any? Do you have any
Just-
plans to kit the model eventually or anything like that?
Just need to figure out how to get an OSBF 46 in there.
I like that electric.
I cannot honestly say I can sell a kit of it because I don't see how you're gonna take parts and put them together. Let's say I sell you wing halves and you put the wings together yourself, or stuff like that. You know, just because it's just not practical.
Right.
Just because of the molds.
Yeah, and all the parts are interchangeable parts in addition to that. So which means if you break a wing, you can make another one, plug it in, and you're back in business, kind of thing, right? So I don't see how I can do a kit, but of a model, you know, basically ready to. Yeah, it's not even an ARF; it's ready to fly, basically.
Right.
Yeah. Now
The other option is to go to Trayan's house, spend a week, and build your own with it.
Well, it'll be 2 weekends because he's got to work. He's still got to make a living.
Hey, Trayan, you could hand them some carbon fiber and some resin and say, here you go. Here's the kit form of it.
Trayan, pay no attention to him. He's crazy. Oh, Lord.
If you consider it, if Trayan wants to make the numbers and the airfoil profile and other items available to someone like, let's say, John. John can turn around and easily plot that out as a standard construction model that can be built with balsa and a foam, whatever technique you want. It doesn't have to be all carbon fiber.
Well,
Big
that's
as that
true.
rascal is, it'd be heavy.
That's true.
It is what
Trajan's method of construction is probably one of the most important parts of that whole design.
I think that's the secret of the whole thing.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the same airplane. Even if I was able to get it copied exactly, it wouldn't be the same airplane.
Yeah, it's the weight distribution, and I think and even more important than that is the stiffness of the plane. The plane
It
is
is very
very, very stiff. It does not bend. It doesn't not warp in flight. It does not do any of the funny thing that the wood plane would do, you know. And and when you give it the input for control, it jumps.
He's not kidding. Trajan, one thing I want to tell you, I told you I was the only one up here flying electric, and everybody was razzing me about it. I've had 2 of them call me this week and want to know if I would help them get into electric.
Wow, that's cool.
That's different. That's different.
Oh my God, Phil! You got everybody going to the dark side now?
Yeah. Welcome to the dark side, my boys.
It's great that people like internal combustion and stuff like that. But now, if you go back and look on the past Hangouts, and half of the conversation is about where can I get the fuel from, where do I get the motors from, and all the issues that you have with getting a motor to run correctly at a certain weather pattern for the weekend and for the place, for the altitude, for all the stuff, it's so much trouble, especially for somebody that just gets into flying. I mean, why add this level of complexity and trouble when you can make it simple? You have a motor that runs the same every time, and with a plane that performs, and all you have to worry about is learn how to fly. I mean, it takes a lot of guessing out of it and simplifies. And then after that, if you want to tinker with motors, go for it.
Tell you what, if any of y'all want to buy some motors, let me know what you want, because I probably got it. I've got a lot of motors downstairs, and most all of it's going to be for sale. Everything but the electric stuff. I'm going to keep the Aero Tigers. I'm going to keep a few of the Super Tigers. I'm going to keep several of the OS Max, but the PA stuff,
I'm not going to headers, Phil. Maybe I'll PM you to find out about a header.
Well, that I can't sell a motor without a header with it is the problem.
You have any extra headers? You have an extra one?
No, I let somebody have one a while back thinking I was going to be able to replace it, and I have not got it replaced yet. So I've got one motor that's ready to run. In fact, I have run it, and I don't have a header for it. So I'm down a little bit, but I've got 40 VFs. I got 46 VFs. I've got one of each of the PAs, and I don't foresee going back now. I'll keep the Aero Tiger for the classics, and I've got Fox 59s. Everybody knows me for my Fox 59s. I'll keep my Foxes for my old timers. I don't plan to give them up, but I'll always have a Stunt Wagon 60 sitting around. I love the Stunt Wagon. It's a pogo stick to land, but it's such a fun plane to fly. And but this electric stuff it was such a headache to try to figure out how to get into it until I figured just ask somebody. So I started asking some of the people, Bob Hunt and Trajan and several others. And once you get the thing set up, put a battery in it, push the button and go fly it. It's real hard. I mean, seriously, push the button and go fly. And it's the same thing every time.
Bill, you and I are thinking on that. Go ahead, Fred.
Some things I said, I'll probably say to consider before you select a model for electric. Number one, electrics love a thin airfoil. They don't like big fat airfoils. So if you have like a 40 size, would be a Noblerish kind of thing. Something with a thin airfoil. I think Cavaliers have thin airfoils. The I'm not sure if Aries or something like that. The
Aries thin.
Aries is thin. Yes. Yeah.
Aries is thin.
Uh,
Cavalier is much thicker than an Aries.
Okay. Yeah. So think thin airfoils, right? You don't need a thick airfoil to hold the electric back because the electric is not going to run away. It's going to be very consistent. So, and you don't need to hold up back the power and the thrust of the big fat motor in the front, right? So that's one thing I would consider, and also consider when you do that build wise. You don't need 1/16 doublers. 1/64 is more than enough. You can even get away with no doublers whatsoever, as long as you
And you
reinforce.
don't have to fuel proof it.
Yeah, as long as you have a way to reinforce a little bit the place where the motor mounts. I would probably most motors you can go rear mounted or front mounted. I'll not say stay with the front mounted because it's more balanced, right? So you have the motor on one side, the spinner and the prop on the other side, and the plate that's in between them. It's a little bit more balanced. It's not super balanced, but it's much better than having all the weight on one side and all that force on one side of the motor.
I like what John's got there.
Yeah, and
those
you can
work.
definitely, yeah. So expect to have a little bit more the CG to move back a little bit. Because of the motor is lighter, the battery is heavier. In ICs, the more is heavier, the fuel is lighter, so the overall center of balance is going to move back a little bit. And lastly, use a bigger motor than you think you need. And most go with an axis. I think it's a 3548 an axis. The one that's generally used, but I say it's 4250. It's much better selection of motor, because what happens is that in electric, if you have an inny-bitty motor, you're losing a lot. You think you save weight in the motor, but you actually did not, because you're going to pay the price for it down the line and then some. So that's the idea behind it. If you have a big motor, that means you have a small ESC, thin wires, and you have a smaller battery, right? If you have a small motor, you're going to have a big ESC, and you have a much bigger battery, and the whole system is running hot. The battery is running hot, the ESC is running hot, and the motor is running super hot. I mean, it's like, how many stories did you hear about people landing the plane and the motor is hot, so hot that you can't touch it, right? So that's the thing over there, and all that heat is wasted energy which comes from the battery. So the battery doesn't have to produce the power to fly the plane, has to also produce the power that's being lost, which is the heat, right? So,
Tryon, are you sizing the battery's capacity for one flight per charge?
We all do that, yes.
Okay.
But it's not an issue because batteries, you usually can charge them relatively quickly. And if you have 3-4 batteries, you can just fly continuously by yourself.
Okay.
The one thing I have to say is that just remember, ladies and gentlemen, that every single design and every single kit that's available out there that's converted to electric is all been designed and based around an IC engine and a fuel tank. There are just about no kits or designs out there that were, except for perhaps trans, that were exclusively designed to fly electric. They all have been designed to fly initially with IC power. That's
true, Peter. But things are changing now. The design work is being done You know, it's a matter, we're in transition. You know,
Yeah.
like Traylon, or not Traylon, like Phil said, I plan on keeping I like my stalkers. I plan on keeping my stalkers,
Me too.
especially for classic and nostalgia airplanes. I want to have IC on them. That's what they had when they were flown in competition. I'm experimenting a little bit with diesels. Always had an affinity towards wanting to try them out, and I've managed to pick up quite a few. And the thing that I'm finding out about a diesel is they run on torque rather than on high RPM. They with the diesel with an adjustable compression, they become attuned to whatever RPM you set them. If you got it tuned right, for whatever RPM you set them on, they stay there, going uphill, downhill, sideways, whatever. They're like an electric in many ways. They're quieter, you know. So anyway, but that's for me to play with. Okay.
Yeah.
My competition airplanes are all being drawn up right now for electric.
I want to piggyback on Pete's comment. You can take any of the designs, the existing designs for whatever, you know, the SVs, the Paramaster, the whatever, you know. If you just thin out the airfoils and you rework the structure in a fuselage to get rid of all of that excess weight that's necessary for an internal combustion motor, and just change the doublers to 1/64 doublers, or just put some carbon fiber cloth on the inside of the fuselage, whatever, you know, to stiffen up a little bit more around the nose for the battery insertion and exit. You have an electric plane. I mean, you can just like say, if you stay around 16% at the root, about 14% on the tip, and you just do that on the airfoil alone, keep the rest the same, the platform, the width of the wing, how it tapers, whatever else, you should be fine for electric, you know.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Anybody can turn around and take any design that's been around for the past 30 years, 40 years, 20 years, and do all sorts of modifications for it to shoehorn it into electric. What I mean is that for anybody who's getting into it now, like a lot of the newbies, a lot of the retreads that are coming back now, and they're looking what to build, how do I do it, other than going out and getting like a baby Ringmaster or a junior flight streak that you can stick an electric motor on, there is nothing out there that is designed specifically for electric. And to be quite honest with you, I do not see any. If you follow the progression on control line, when stunt models can become kids, you look at the product lineup. Look at Randy Smith's product lineup. Look at any one of the kit manufacturers that are actually kitting the so-called stunt SV11s, the Vectors, the SV11s, SV22s, the Dreadnought, the Tempest, any one of those designs. Those are all, like I said, IC designs. You have to turn around and rework them to make them work for.
But if Dennis makes all the conversions, all the Rodex stuff now, and if you get one of the classic airplanes with the thin airfoils and with his conversions, they fly great.
Yeah,
they really do well. I mean, Dennis has put a lot of time into, you know.
I can't see making a Saginaw electric that just does not fit into this particular design format.
One thing I wanted to mention about electric, I built several electric RC planes and have them in various sizes and stuff. But I found, and I'm sure you're probably all aware of this, but it is quite important to learn about LiPo batteries and get a good charger and get the charging stacks and just learn enough about it to be safe, because you know, that's one thing that I found in moving over from IC to the LiPo batteries. It's a different, you know, it's just have to invest in that learning curve and the infrastructure, because they are You got to treat them. You have to be serious about LiPo batteries.
Yeah, Tom. Yeah, in general, you don't want to discharge them more than 80%, and because we want to keep our planes light, we kind of tend to have the batteries sized for that. Okay, and you have to put them in storage charge after you're done flying and stuff like that, and it's something. Yeah, that's and that was one of the things I had to consider, because I said I said that I'm not using that much battery on my plane. Um, in one full flight, I'm using about half the battery capacity, about 50%. It's a 2800 milliamps. I'm using about 1350 milliamps of battery capacity, but that puts me smack down in a storage charge capacity of the battery when I'm done flying. So to me, it's like, as long as I run all the batteries I have charged with me, I'm fine. But that might not be the case. But you're absolutely right. You have to be a little bit careful with that.
Well, like for example, I had one of those little teeny 150 milliamps for just a little micro indoor flyer, and I just didn't really know that much about it. I had the cheapest little USB charger, but I discharged it too much. I didn't realize with the LiPo battery, that's puts it in a dangerous state, and the pack puffed up, which is that's dangerous. And it's got it. You need to dispose of it properly. You don't really want them in that state, in your house. And that was just one of those kind of things that I realized I needed to learn more about it, get a good balancing charger, put them in a storage state when I wasn't going to just there's just anybody that's going to do it needs to be willing to spend a little bit of money and some time to learn how all of that works, so that you don't create a dangerous situation.
True.
Everybody's guys, I got to interrupt. I have on the chat, Dennis B. He said, "Have Sparky build it out of balsa." This is probably regarding the Revolutions.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
To make a comment about that, but we're coming up against the after party pretty soon. It's we've been on the air now for 2 hours and 11 minutes. At least I started the stream 2 hours and 11 minutes ago, and we've had 21 thumbs up. Thank you very much. We're doing awesome. But I still like some more thumbs up, and super chat again. Thanks, John. I appreciate it so much, John, your super chat. And I want to let everybody know out there who's watching us that I do these shows every Monday and Friday evenings at about 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you're watching a replay and you'd like to see it live, or be able to put your comments and questions live, I do it every Monday and Friday at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That way you make a note of it, and then you can come in on a live show. And you might want to come in and be able to go into the after party, because at the after party there's no restraint. We talk about whatever we want, and it's sometimes the after party is better than the live portion, the stream portion. So you might want to come join us, and we're going to be coming up on 9 o'clock in 4 minutes. We'll be transitioning to the after party shortly. But I want to thank everybody for coming in, and everybody coming on the chat. And we've had 2 new guests today. I mean, Tom, that's awesome for you coming in, and John, that's awesome for you coming in. And so that's great. Now looking for more. Again, we can blow up this platform where we need more hosts and more time zones. So let's grow this thing. And we all love this hobby, and if we don't grow it, it's going to go away like the 8-track tape player. So we got to do something while we're still around. So that maybe it will still be here after we're gone. So anyways, that's it. And I want to thank everybody for coming in. We're going to be transitioning to the after party program. And let me get this thing set up here. So we're going to stop the stream here. Just give me a moment here. Thank you so much. We'll see